Hello and welcome to Voice Podcast. My name is Reed and I am joined by...
Hi guys, I'm Leighton. I'm usually one of the producers on the podcast today, but I'm stepping in due to illness, so I'm just helping out co-host today's episode with Reed.
We really want to thank Leighton for coming in on today. Leighton is a huge help with SA Voice Podcast, and we're glad to have him in front of the camera today.
Excited to be on this side for once.
Yeah, this is a different experience for us, right?
Have some fun.
So this is Voice Podcast. You can listen to this on pretty much any platform: SoundCloud, Apple Music, Google Podcast, and our YouTube channels, Spotify, whatever you think. You can also phone into this podcast. So if you have any ideas, any input that you want to make on this podcast, you can call us at our extension at 1677, and we'll be able to take your opportunities, and maybe you can come on the podcast and share some things about anything and everything St. Lawrence. So we look forward to hearing from you.
So what do we got going on today?
Today we have Tyler and Lindsay from the board of directors of the SA, and they're going to talk to us a bit today about what they do on the board of directors and what it means to be involved in the SA and what it really means to be involved as a student at St. Lawrence, to get involved in the events. And we'll talk a little bit about what we have going on, but more just importantly, what it means to be involved in the school.
Cool. Looking forward to it. Let's get into it.
Can't wait.
Awesome.
See you then.
All right.
All right, so why don't you guys just start by introducing yourselves and sort of the role that you have here at the board of the directors.
Cool. My name's Tyler Payne. I'm a third-year accounting student, and I'm the treasurer on the board of directors.
Awesome.
I'm Lindsay Evans, and I am a director on the board of directors.
Cool. So how did you guys get started in these roles?
So I tried out in second year to get on the board and go through the election process, and because I got a guy in third year at the time was really encouraging me to try it out, and he's like, you'd be a good fit, you're really active in the school already, so why don't you go for it? So I ran in second year. I didn't get it actually, and then I tried again third year, and that's when it came through and got elected by the students. So
Nice.
Now we're here,
Awesome.
third year doing it.
So Lindsay, could you walk us through the process of how you first decided to join the board of directors and how you became elected and what kind of that whole process looks like as we enter into a new election year coming up in the next couple of months? Just give our viewers kind of a rundown of what that looks like, feels like.
Yeah, so I actually ran at the end of my first year after this girl, Charlie. She came into my class to talk about the board of directors, and she just gave us a rundown, and she gave us application forms. And you pretty much need to be endorsed by your classmates or other students and endorsed by two of your professors. Okay. They have to give you a recommendation just to make sure that you're a good fit for the position. And then you, after handing in that form with those endorsements, you run in an election that the whole student body can vote in, and
Was there academic requirements? Did you have to have a certain GPA to be eligible?
It needs to be 2.5 or higher.
Yeah. And was there an interview process, to be able to run in that election? Did the SA have to sit down with you? And
there was
all that
not.
Kind of stuff? No, okay.
No, not when I ran. There wasn't an interview.
Is there now, or is that different, or?
It hasn't been changed.
So, no.
Okay,
Yeah.
Interesting.
There's been talk.
I know once you get elected, though, there's a big process with Nikki, the HR representative.
Right.
She's awesome. Hi, Nikki.
But yeah, it was a long process of a lot of papers to fill out, forms, background checks. So once you get elected, there is a bit of paperwork involved afterwards.
Right. Awesome. Interesting.
So it sounds like both of you had kind of peer input into wanting to join the board of directors. Can you talk a bit about what it felt like on your own personal level and why you had that determination, and drive to become a board of director member, and why it's important for you guys, or why you felt it was important to get involved like that?
Yeah, sure. So this is my second time back at St. Lawrence as a mature student now. So I feel like what I didn't do in the first time around was I didn't get involved. I kind of just went to class and went home and even didn't really do that much homework, that type of stuff. But this time I came back more determined, kind of with a vengeance to just anything that someone would throw at me, I would say, yes, let's try it out. So when Sadek was coming to me when he was in third year, it was like, oh, you should try this, you should try that. I would usually just take his response yeah, sure. What's the worst that could happen? I might as well just try it out. And then it just kept building on itself that I would get more confidence because I did this and it went well. And then I'd move on to something else and everything just was working out really well. And you just get that confidence level, and then you just want to try and take on everything. And then it kind of led to getting onto the board of directors.
Now, was there a big gap between the first time you were at St. Lawrence and the second time, or was it pretty much back to back?
No, there's quite a big, I think it was like 7 years of just full-time working.
Wow.
So, life kind of evolves in 7 years. So it's a lot of time to gain life experience, maturity. You just see life through a different lens.
So you had a different mindset
Exactly.
sort of coming into how you wanted to get involved
100%.
here. Yeah.
100%.
What about you, Lindsay?
With me, it was my first year, the end of it, and I kind of had felt like I hadn't done really anything with my school life, and I didn't have a job outside of school first year because the situation.
Yeah.
But I felt like I really hadn't done anything, and then just hearing Charlie speak about it and the resolve that she spoke about how you take the students' opinions into account and you try to weave these ideas and make them happen and implement things, it sparked something in me where I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah, and it must keep you so much more fulfilled and busier, obviously, throughout the days, because you're not just going to class, like you're involved in everything. So I'm assuming you guys pretty much take this as a 9 to 5 sort of thing, or you guys here just 24/7 basically?
Yeah, I put a lot of thought into what I bring to meetings and stuff. Even though we don't have meetings like all the time, it's not a huge commitment, but you do really give thought even outside of meetings, and you do work outside of meetings.
For sure. Now, are you both from Kingston?
No.
Whereabouts? So you're from Kingston. Whereabouts are you from, Lindsay?
I'm from Trenton.
Interesting. So why did you choose St. Lawrence?
I chose St. Lawrence because I was looking at advertising and marketing, and my dad actually was looking at programs as well for me. And St. Lawrence seemed to have the best advertising and marketing program in what it offered, except there was another one in Vancouver, BC, but that was just too far away for my family.
Definitely.
They didn't want me that far away, and so I decided on St. Lawrence.
Amazing. Yeah, AMC is a great program. Shout out to Kathy Patterson and everybody else.
Yeah.
Awesome. And so what about you? Why St. Lawrence specifically?
I think it was just proximity to home, and
Right.
I knew the first time I came here, I took the IMC course.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if they still have that, but
Yep.
I mean, Kathy was a good teacher, Tom, all of those guys. So I knew the faculty here was really strong, and it had a really good community behind it. So it was kind of like a no-brainer that I knew I wanted to come back for accounting. And St. Lawrence is like 10 minutes away from my house.
Right.
I know it has good faculty, good support, good community. So I just came back to the same place I'd already been.
Very cool. Question that we like to ask everyone: what's sort of a hidden gem that you find about the school? What's something that you love that no one else would really know about, whether it's in the school or maybe it's even the Kingston community?
I would go with the Mass Center. Maybe a little slightly biased that I work there, but it's a quiet. I don't think that people take advantage of what we offer there, free tutoring. And if you have like any problems or questions, that you don't have to make an appointment. You can drop in for 5 minutes, an hour. It's up to you.
Right.
But you can usually get a question resolved almost immediately without having to wait for an email back from your teacher or waiting for the next class. That we offer so much there that people don't take advantage of it enough, I don't think.
Yeah, nice.
I think I would have to say, and I feel like this is because I'm an advertising student, but just all the creative businesses around. There's so much stuff like the Toucan, and there's also Symphony Spa and Wellness Center.
It's unlimited, right?
Yeah.
The amount of really cool businesses.
Yeah.
And really over the past, I'd say 5 years, they're really spawning out into these very cool creative companies that are coming out, right?
Yeah.
In these cool places. So yeah, definitely. If there was something, and you kind of touched on this a little bit. If you were to go back on your first day and give yourself or somebody advice, what would that be?
I would say be involved.
Yeah.
Listen to people. People come into your classroom to speak about something in the school. Take advantage of it. Read the flyer that they give you. It may interest you. It may not. But at least be open minded enough to willing to try something.
Just take some risks.
Take the risk. you have nothing to lose and
Yeah.
a lot to gain. So it's in your best interest to evolve as a student in the 3 or 4 years or however long you're here, to just mature and find what you like and don't like in life, and find what you do like and go for it, and try to make something out of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would probably say don't be scared to try new things, and definitely if something sparks something inside of you and you feel it, just go for it. Like, just do something.
Right. Yeah. Nice. Is there anything that the SA is sort of doing right now that you want the students to know about more? Like, is there something specifically going on?
Yeah, give us a little input on like what your day-to-day activities on the board look like, and if we can be privy, like what are some of the things you guys talk about or do in your roles at like the meetings and stuff? Yeah.
Well, the big one right now, I'd say, is the elections coming up for actually a new board of directors for next year. So it takes place in February and March. And so that's something we're really trying to push right now, is get more students aware and involved and applied to be a board on the board of directors. So I'd say take advantage of that, and we'll be coming around to classrooms pretty soon just
Awesome.
to discuss and trying to encourage people to step up and either run for it or know that it's coming, to vote for someone that you may know that is running. Either way, just to try to get more community involvement within the students.
How many students run for your guys' positions every year?
It varies.
Yeah, you get different levels of interest, but I would say it's been around probably 10 each year.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And are you looking for an increase, or is this a good number, or like obviously
I don't
anybody
think
can
We're-
apply? So
Yeah, we are always welcoming
Right.
new people.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
very nice.
Yeah. And in terms of what your day-to-day roles look like, it sounds like this isn't something where you have an office and you go every day. It's kind of fluid. I know that you guys have meetings in the SA boardroom. If you can, and what we're allowed to be privy to, what do some of those meetings look like? Just give us an in-depth look for the students watching what you guys do behind closed doors. Is it like budgeting decisions? Is it greater control over what the student body will be doing or participating in? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Those and more. Basically, it depending on your role. Like as the treasurer, like I'm a director, but I also am the treasurer, so I look after like the budgeting with the accounting administrator in the SA, like Brian Foley.
Yep.
Brian. So we look over like the pub financials for the St. Larry's pub.
Okay.
We look at the income statement, the balance sheet. But that's more specifically towards me as the treasurer, and then I would bring that information forward at the board meeting, and we'll discuss, what's going well, what's not going so well, how can we improve upon it, and then that's where we open the discussion to the rest of the directors, where we now input ideas on, well, why don't we try this down at the pub to increase sales or traffic flow,
Right.
And then we actually did that last semester in November, and then we implemented some ideas, and then we saw growth in December. So it's just nice to see, like, we have a problem, let's find a solution, implement a solution, and then it works, and then everything is going better. So that's just one part of like my role, I guess, on the board. And then I know Lindsay has other roles other than mine, but that's one that I do there the most.
So did you have a background in accounting or finance that kind of helps with your role as treasurer? Okay.
That's, I think Brett Whaley and I, because we're both on the board and we're accountants, that we chose that role, and then it just kind of, we can see the financial statements, and it makes more sense to us than someone that is in marketing or HR.
And you chose that role once you got appointed?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Yeah. How about you, Lindsay?
well, there's just certain things that you do, like you choose to implement certain things, like the decision to implement the pub and have it built. That happened at board level. The board about 3 years ago approved the idea to have it start going into development, and now it's here. So,
Right.
and we also plan stuff around orientation. So we
You guys
plan
are
what
involved in
happened.
that?
Yeah.
That's
Very
good.
cool. And obviously the events that go on throughout the semester
Yeah.
and day to day. Very cool. Very nice.
Awesome. So, before we let you guys go, could you just maybe leave our listeners and our viewers with what it means to be a student leader, and just kind of how that has helped to your overall growth, and why you think somebody should follow in your footsteps in the next coming weeks here for these elections?
I think it just helps because it builds confidence. That was the big thing, is you may be nervous if it's your first time here at college, or, a new campus, new city, and you're unsure of what you want to do or what you want to become, is that you get involved, and then if things work out for you, it just kind of gets the wheels going, and you build your confidence up, and then you try something different or harder than that, and then you just kind of, it's like leveling up almost if you look at it that way, and then you're able to look back like 2 or 3 months from then. It's like, wow, look at what I've done in such a short period of time, that you've accomplished so much. And then also you've touched the lives of other students, you've made decisions that impact other people's lives, and it just gives you a sense of like, wow, I helped contribute to that. Like that was,
It's a great point.
yeah, it's my decision making helped towards this. So it just, and then you can just try to translate that to like a real life setting, to a job, or then if you have a first job, it kind of helps build upon that.
Empowering.
Yeah,
Almost.
it's very empowering.
Good for you.
That's for sure.
It's awesome, Tyler.
Helps a lot.
Great message.
Thank you.
Something similar you'd like to share with us, Lindsay?
Yeah, well, especially with the board specifically, you do impact student life here at the college, and so that's a big thing. And if it's not the board, maybe you're interested in a different club. There are a lot of clubs. You just get involved in something, and you get involved in something you're interested in, and you meet new people who you probably wouldn't have crossed paths with otherwise,
Good point.
unless you were in that setting. And also with the board, it helps with my class life too, because I know how those types of meetings work and how to plan and implement certain things like events and advertising and stuff. And that's my world. So
Yeah, it'll help you be career ready when you leave here and get out in the professional world. You have experience at a high level board, managing and operating a large organization already. So kudos to you guys. That's awesome.
Thank you for all that you do, and thank you for coming on. I think that's a great message to give everybody.
Appreciate it.
Thank
And when are the elections for the board of directors coming up here?
So the nomination packages will go out, I believe, at the end of January, or very close to that time. And then the candidates have about a month and a half of campaigning for themselves, let themselves be known and spread their word around the school. And then I think you are able to vote in March, near the end of March. So you have a little bit of time, but
March.
yeah.
Awesome. We'll keep an eye out for you guys. Well, again, thank you very much for your time today and for sharing what you guys do, and for all your help you guys provide to students. So thanks for coming on today. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
thanks for having us.
Cool.
Perfect.
That was awesome.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was very cool. I think it's funny I'm really glad that they got the message across of how much empowering it's empowering to be involved in that school, right? I mean, I've seen a big difference in myself. I've had semesters where I wasn't involved in all, especially my first couple, which, I think everyone needs to have that transition of getting into school and going to classes, and I think that's very important. But eventually there should get to the point where there's so much other things going on inside the school, and there's so much difference to be made. So
Yeah, it's almost a shame to not get involved. There's so much going on here, and it does so much for your academics and your personal life here that there's really so many great opportunities that you really should make an effort to just do one thing a semester.
yeah,
Just volunteer a little bit of time or something, but you really see the correlation between students who are bought in and involved and academics.
And
seem
just
to be
quickly,
doing better.
like you're very involved in the school. Obviously, you work for the SA. So what was the difference maker for you when you were not involved to be getting involved?
Well, just like Tyler said, and I'm noticing a theme here, is you kind of go through your first year, kind of just getting your feet wet. A lot of people don't jump right in, but you come to regret it because
Right.
you want to be more involved. And you see things that are going on in the school, and you think I could be doing that.
Yeah,
I
you just
want
see
to
it
be doing
pass
that.
by, right?
Yeah, so just to kind of echo what Tyler said, my first year I just kind of passed by the wayside. I was just here going to class, wasn't involved, and I decided to jump in and apply for a job in the School of Business second year. Got it, and I haven't looked back since, and it's
Right.
great. People know who you are, and it really helps your standing in the school, and when you leave here as well, people remember you. So if you need to call for a reference or you need to call for help on a project, the professors know who the involved students were, and kudos to the professors in this amazing college. They're always willing to help the students. Who are
Incredibly helpful, incredible. All the admin staff and everybody. So once again, if you're a fan of the podcast, if you want to call in, you can call us at 1677. If you have any ideas, please pitch in. If you want to come on, anyone's welcome to come on. So we'll always be doing that. Again, we're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, and SoundCloud. I think I said that already, but hey, we're on all the platforms. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll be seeing you next week.
cool. Thanks for having me, guys.